Good morning. Welcome to subramani.com. Today I'm going to talk to you about bank deposits versus mutual funds. Okay, what are the options available for anybody who is retiring, retired, or who is young, maybe is only in his 30s, but wants to invest in debt, right? He does not want to invest in equity, or his appetite for equity is over. He has put his 1.5 or 3 lakhs into PPF, that is also over. Beyond that, he needs to invest in, say, debt instruments. Let us assume he's got 5 lakhs of rupees and he's 32, 33 years of age. He has no need to buy a house or whatever, and he has this money and he thinks he does not need it for the next 30, 40 years, so it's part of his retirement corpus. Unfortunately, PPF has a limit. He can't put more than 1.5 lakhs. It is completely unlimited to put in own provident fund. So your voluntary provident fund is one of the best investments. It is tax free, there is no limit, and you can put as much as you want. Of course, there is a ceiling of how much your employer will put, but you can put as much as you want. You can put 20 lakhs, you can put 50 lakhs, depending on your salary. And that is one of the most subsidized 8% plus interest and one of the best thing to invest. But assuming that you don't want to put, or you want to put this outside of that, what are your choices? First, of course, you can go for a bank FD. You can go for a company FD. There are still companies like HDFC Limited, Mahindra and Mahindra Finance, which still are not banks, but they still accept deposits. But their rates are more or less same as bank deposits. So if you're a young person, you may be indifferent between the two. The next option available, of course, is post office products like national savings certificates, but they are not very tax efficient and it is not very easy to buy. You need to buy through an agent. You do not know whether the documents which is giving you are genuine. There are very many fraud cases. Unfortunately, it is not seamlessly online that you can buy. If I could have bought it, I would have been very happy buying national savings certificates. The next option, of course, is mutual funds. Recently, of course, people have been very scared of mutual funds, and I don't blame you for that. What happens when a 30-year-old puts money in a mutual fund? Let us assume you put in an ultra short bond fund. Believe me, ultra short bond fund is a very good product category with a 2 to 3 year kind of maturity or even less. And just because one fund house made a mess of that, it does not mean that you should be worried, right? So ultra short bond fund is for liquidity and for creating or protecting your money against inflation over long periods of time. Now this 30-year-old puts 5 lakhs in a bank deposit. He will get 50,000 per month interest. I am assuming 10%. It may not be 10%, it may be 7% or less than that. So whatever he gets, let's say he gets 30,000, which is 6% interest, he will have to pay tax on that. Now what happens if he puts in an ultra short bond fund and assuming he gets the same 6%, that 5 lakh becomes 5 lakh 30, and then that 5 lakh 30 will again grow at 6%, whereas in the bank you have got 30,000 and on which you will pay 10,000 rupees tax. So your only 5 lakh 20 is getting compounded, and every year you will be paying 30% tax. I am assuming a person who is 30 years of age, when if he is able to put 5 lakhs in deposit, is 30% tax is what he is paying. So year on year he will pay tax. Now what happens in the mutual fund growth plan? Yes, his returns will fluctuate. Yes, once in a while he might have to look at the fund and see whether it is doing well. The mistake which we all made when we saw the name saying ultra short bond fund, obviously ultra short bond fund should not have liquidity problems. So presumably it will not have liquidity problems, and over 40 years of time, it's not a small amount of N, right? Over 40 years of investing in which you have done in that. Occasionally you have more money, you can put that also into it. You have postponed income tax by 40 years. That is not small. There are calculators available today online. FreeFinCal has one. Pattu of FreeFinCal made that calculator when I called him and said, can we have a calculator like this? And mutual funds, of course, when you ask them for calculators like this, they'll tell you that SEBI will create a problem or some shit like that. There is no connection between SEBI and a calculator, but that's what I heard. That's not the point. The point is, can you put it into a debt fund? Forget an ultra short bond fund, it could even be a short term income fund, and just stay there for 40 years. The sheer power of compounding and the postponement of tax by 40 years is not funny, it's huge. So this 30-year-old person takes this money out when he's 70. He will pay tax after 40 years and not on a year on year basis. You need not be a mathematical wizard to know what is the impact of compounding spread over 40 years simply because you did not pay the tax, right? So calculators are available. You can even do it in Excel. It's not very difficult. Go check it out, see the impact that it will have on your total wealth. Please understand, I'm not recommending the product. I'm assuming you want to put it in debt, because normally people will come back and say, for 40 years, why should I put it in debt? I can put it in equity. Be my guest, do whatever you want. But if you want to put it in the mutual fund growth plan versus a bank deposit, this is a huge advantage. If everybody knew this, we wouldn't have been having such a huge bank deposit base and such a small mutual fund base, right? So people don't know about the sheer postponement advantage of tax. You pay tax only after 40 years. That's huge. Thank you.